Welcome to another episode of Family Goals with Pastor Jay and David Pollack. I don't know if you noticed there, but I decided to put my name in front of your name.
I like that. I'm with it.
Pastor Jay, like
Pastor Jay's better to say. It's just that's my name's, your name's awesome. That's all. I'm Pastor Jay. It just should go first.
You like it first?
Pollack
it's kind
and
of like
Jay.
the husband-wife thing. Do you say Lindsay and David Pollack, or do you say
of course.
David and Lindsay Pollack?
Lindsay's the backbone of our family, yes. Lindsay's the most important part.
How in the world did you get her to marry you?
I don't know. Especially when you look at those pictures of me when I was...
She's like so sweet.
And kind,
yeah,
and generous, and compassionate. And compassionate is not a word that you can use to define me. It's a struggle of mine. I'm getting better at it, but it's definitely a struggle. I don't know.
Hey, we're all growing.
I think she was so young. You need to start that timer down there, sir. You need to do your job.
Come on, Wojak.
Wojak has one job.
We're trying to keep these things to a certain like driving distance or running
100%
or working out.
But I got her when she was really young. That was the secret. Find your bride when she's 14 years old. That helps.
Okay. Hopefully you weren't 18.
I was.
You were 18 and she was 14?
Yes. I was 18. She was 14. She just turned 15. I just turned 18, and then she turned 15 a couple months later.
Okay, so she was in high school. Y'all were both in high school.
We were both in high school.
She wasn't in middle school.
I technically redshirted a year in elementary school, and she was really young for her grade, so it was only 2 grades difference, but it was really like 3.5. So I don't know what the heck her parents were thinking. Because if Leah walks in the door with an 18-year-old when she's 14, he might walk on water like Jesus. But he's going to be walking right out my door. I can promise you that, because he ain't coming in.
Well, you would be a pretty intimidating father of the date to pick the girl up, I would think.
Pretty large.
I
like what you said in the sermon. I like what you said in the sermon, though, when you had people come over and take your daughter out.
Oh, about the...
treat her like your sister?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
1 Timothy 5.
I thoroughly...
Treat older women as mother. I got a little trouble calling my wife an older woman.
I can get that, but I'm with it. But tell them what you said, though, because I like that.
And treat older women as mothers, younger women as sisters with absolute purity.
Correct.
And so do you know, young man, what absolute purity means? Yeah. It's 100%. You're not going to tonsil box your sister.
No.
Right? You're not going to be... touching your sister where you shouldn't be touching your sister.
I've heard people say, whatever you do to my daughter, I'm going to do to you. I thought yours was a lot cleaner and a lot more succinct.
I am the pastor. I am pastor.
You are Pastor Jay.
But yeah. So we're talking about family goals. We're talking about...
Apparently we're talking about taking your daughter out too. So we got a little bit of
everything. I have one that's married now. So they ended up getting married. So
Jolin's next.
Yeah. Jolin.
I don't know about that.
Any news for us? Any girls on the horizon?
No updates.
No updates to share?
Just keep us posted.
Sadly, yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. One of the funny things that happened a few weeks ago, we were marketing small groups at the church, and they accidentally put Jolin's name and picture over the single girls small group.
Or he was looking for him.
Yeah.
In the small group packets, it said young adults women's leader Jolin House, has my picture there, phone number, everything.
Was it supposed to be Jennifer?
I don't know who it was supposed to be.
Typo
Alan Smith
or something. I think I was supposed to be like the contact, but I didn't know they were going to put my name on it and all that.
That's cool. I didn't know you were on Tinder like that. That's awesome.
Didn't think I was either. So
are you on Tinder?
I'm not.
Are you on?
It's not that desperate yet.
Hey,
we haven't gotten to that point.
By the way, he said yet.
Yeah. I hope it has crossed his mind.
I hope we don't have to get to that point.
Yeah. And then of course we have the grandchild who's 13, and so she's
correct. For all those that don't know, the grandchild is his daughter. That obviously there's a significant age gap, so you can fill in the rest about that.
She's 11 years younger than Jolin, so she was a surprise, but not a surprise to God.
She keeps you young, though.
She definitely keeps us young.
Keeps you young. It's good.
Yeah.
I keep trying to ask Lindsay for more, but it works really well.
I noticed earlier in another podcast that you mentioned my generation being a good bit older or different than your generation.
Correct.
Yeah, I kind of let that slip at the time. I think, hey, we're not that much different. I mean, we're not that there's not that big of a gap.
Okay, define a big gap. Okay, would 2 age groups above be bigger? So say 50s. So you're in your 50s, correct?
I am.
Okay. So that means you passed through.
Are you in your 30s?
That means you passed through your 40s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, not there. So
you're still in your 30s.
Yes, Jolan. I mean, am I missing something? That seems like a pretty big gap.
No, he just wants to think he's young.
That is
yeah.
I mean, I think
I'm going to agree. That's a good argument.
You're young in spirit.
So I've lived in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2000. I've lived in 7 decades.
Wow.
So
I haven't.
Yeah, you haven't.
That's okay though. That's okay.
So we're in part 3 of lessons learned from sports.
Yeah, we are.
And I want to go back to something you said in the last episode. You talked about, you thought football was like the ultimate sport, the ultimate challenge. But I got to thinking, and one of the lessons you learn in sports is teamwork.
Yeah.
And I think football, of all the sports, is the ultimate team sport because you're depending on, you got head coach, assistant coaches, trainers, you got offense, defense, special teams. You got 11 people you're lining up with.
Doing 11 different things every play. So it's definitely.
So let's talk about the lesson of teamwork, like how sports teaches us to work with other people, to get along with other people.
Yeah. I mean, I think first of all, you have to learn to be part of a group. It's not you that shows up and you just kind of do something. What's the first thing we do every practice? First thing we do is we get in lines, we warm up. Then we all come together as a team and we talk to the team, we address the team, and then we all break up into our individual stations. So, just like at Georgia, when I was at Georgia, we wore different color jerseys than the offense. The offense wore different color jerseys than the defense. And it was a big divide. Like you went on this field, we went on this field. And so it's also teams within the teams. I mean, because you have position groups and position coaches and you got special teams. And I mean, there's just a lot of hats you wear as a teammate. Like there's older teammates that have been around a while. There's more productive teammates who have a lot of influence. I have a kid right now that he's an awesome leader, one of the best leaders I've ever had. And he just does a really good job of incorporating even the smallest kid on the team that doesn't contribute as much and giving them fist bumps and telling them good job or you got this. And I try to encourage all my guys to do that, like find opportunities to pick your teammates up. And this one kid actually comes to Wednesday night church at Graystone, and I tell him, like, you have the power to lead for good or for bad because you have a powerful influence. But if you decide to lead for laziness and you decide to lead for I'm out for me, like people will follow. I told him with his faith, I was like, you got a strong opportunity with your faith to lead for the gospel and to lead for the power for God and to do the right things and treat people the right way. And so I think team / leadership.
I was thinking like even leadership's a whole nother topic of the team.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of being a team though, like, because you have different pecking orders and different roles. And
I think the thing about teamwork, you learn that one is the team is depending on you.
Yeah.
But also other people, you're depending on other people. You hear people say, well, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so what do you think about the, I'm having to depend on you or you're having to depend on, I mean, that teaches you a lot about life. Hey, I got some people who are counting on me.
Which means I better show up.
Yeah.
Instead of being a guy that goes, I'm just kind of here and I'm doing this. Like, wait a minute, they're depending on me. Like I got to step up. Obviously accountability is a huge part of life. I mean, we all need it at every walk, every step. I mean, you need it as a pastor. I need it as a coach. I mean, need it to function properly in life. I got to have accountability from multiple angles, not just one. So I think it is learning that I have to do that, but it's also learning. I think it's cool because you kind of learn the steps of leadership too. And as I get older, I kind of accept more of a leadership role or a different role on the team. But again, it's fun. It's a fun part of the process. And by the way, coaches, that's your job. That's your job. Pastors, that's your job for our church. Like, how do you create more unity? Mm-hmm. How do you create more love for each other? How do you create more accountability? Like, you probably do that with your team at the church, right?
Oh yeah, and I view myself as a coach.
Yeah, you are.
I'm motivating people. I'm encouraging people. I'm challenging people. We want to work together.
Are you always looking for new ideas?
Looking for new ideas, new ways of doing things, innovation.
What's the last thing you came across to build unity or teamwork, or something recently that you've done that you saw or that you read that helped you develop that or helped you think about that?
One of the things we try to do, our staff team, is, once a month we have these team days. And sometimes they're training them in how to be better pastors or how to counsel people or disciple people or whatever. But then every now and then we'll do something fun just to build some teamship.
Yeah.
And so we turned the whole church auditorium into this airsoft obstacle course, lights off. Wojak was into it. Joe was into it. But man, it was so much fun.
Were you not into it?
Oh, I was into it, but I wasn't very good.
I've seen you. You're kind of competitive.
Yeah, I was competitive. I definitely got a few carpet burns, but just building that unity and doing stuff together.
Well, if you're running a business, if you're running a business or you're responsible for people, you have to look at those. You have to facilitate that. It won't happen organically. Teams don't come together really close-knit just naturally most of the time. Maybe you'll have unique circumstance, but you got to find ways to push buttons. You got to find ways to motivate. You got to find ways to pour into them and love on them, and I think earn the trust of them too.
Yeah, I was about to say trust. Earning that trust. Right now at our church, and Wojak mentioned this yesterday in staff meeting, it's like we got a great team, and I think it's because we've been around each other so long. We trust each other. We've been through the good times and the bad times together. And so you have that level of trust. I was thinking about the family, our title of this is Family Goals, but the family, talking about teamwork as a family, like talking about being responsible. Yeah. Like being on a team teaches you to be responsible, but I have a responsibility of my family.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my wife. I'm responsible for my kids. I'm responsible to provide for them, to protect them, to help them be successful in life. I mean, sports teaches you so much that you apply.
Yep.
And to be the leader. I mean, as the husbands and fathers, we are the leader.
Whether you like it or not, words have weight. Right? We all know that. Like, words count, words matter. Words mean something to people. When you're a dad, your words weigh a lot more than anybody else. Your words weigh 700 pounds, 1,000 pounds. Like, it's just, whether you like it or not, you might not want that. You might be like, not really. I'm not really all about that life. It doesn't matter. Like, when you're sarcastic, which is, I'm sarcastic by nature a lot of times, and there's some truth in sarcasm always. So your kids know that. People know that when you're sarcastic with them. It's one of those things I have to work on a lot. I have to pray about it. I struggle with, I always got a comment. I always have something to say. And I'm like, well, why do you have to say that? You should keep your mouth shut. But I think as a dad, your words count.
Have you ever had to apologize to your kids?
Oh yeah.
Like, go back and say,
shouldn't have said that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Shouldn't have said that. And so two things with that. One, I've had to a bunch, unfortunately, because I do mess up and lose my cool or lose my perspective and will get on you. And I just literally say, like, hey, I shouldn't have done that, because what I'm trying to do is motivate you. What I'm trying to do is X, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. And hold me accountable with that. Like, that's my big thing with my kids. Like, hold me accountable, because I need it too. And I got to understand that I'm going to mess up. And I think the second thing is, how do we have to show them too that we struggle. Like, we have to provide opportunities and provide areas and show them, like, listen, this is a struggle of mine. Like, I'm fighting this fight. I'm reading books to try to fix this. I'm reading my Bible to try to fix this. I'm memorizing scripture to try to fix this. Like, I'm meeting with people and talking to them about this because I want to fix this, and like, show them that we ain't got to figure it out either. And y'all are figuring things out, and y'all are learning, y'all are growing, and so are we. And I think that's a really important point of being a dad and delivering a message or being a leader is, that's one of the things that attracted me to Graystone, and was you. And just like the other day, I thought it was awesome when you said on stage, like, I struggle with lust. I thought that was amazing. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that probably went, Pastor Jay doesn't struggle with that. Bull crap. I mean, in the Bible, it talks a lot about facing everything. What does it say when it comes to sex? Get the heck out of there. Mm-hmm. Women, get the heck out of there. Flee.
Run.
Run.
Yeah.
Genesis 38, right? I mean, get the heck out of Dodge, bro. You don't want that smoke. But I thought it was awesome that you said that, man. I thought it was really, really cool. And I think people need to hear that.
You know, my dad's 82, and he's never changed his cell phone ringtone. And so every time he gets a phone call, I was like, hello, Moto.
Is that what it says, really?
Hello, Moto.
Oh, wow.
But it's like the Swedish, accent.
I always thought a thing that would be very successful. I get off topic quick, by the way. I always thought a thing that would be really, really successful would be a cultural GPS. Like whatever way you talk or whoever you want to read the GPS, like Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
You know they have that.
Did they really?
On the Waze app, you can record like the directions for yourself. So like when me and my buddies went on a trip, we recorded those for ourselves.
So it's your voice.
So it's my voice or my buddy's voice.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I want Jeff Foxworthy to be like, hey, man, you might be a redneck if you take a left. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I think it would be awesome. Like, The Rock, do you smell what's cooking? Take a ride at the light. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
that would definitely spice things up.
I thought it'd be sweet because it's always the same voice. I do like the British accent, though. I have that in my gate, too. I like the woman British accent. You've got that, or you've got access. Like, turn right at the light. I like that. Jolly good. It's chipper.
So I'm going to bring us back to lessons learned.
I don't even remember where we were.
And I was thinking character development and discipline.
What does that
hard
mean?
Work.
Oh, okay.
You reap what you sow. You know, you practice. You play how you practice. You remember the old Allen Iverson?
Practice.
We're talking about practice.
Talking about practice? Which I completely disagree with.
One of the lessons that my dad taught me when I was a kid is I was over at some friend's house, and some buddies would hang out with you. Maybe heard me talk about Bobby Reed, my best friend growing up. But he was like 6'5" in the 6th grade, and I was like little Johnny House.
In the 6th grade?
Oh, he was huge. I'm probably exaggerating.
You have to be exaggerating.
I'm exaggerating.
6'5" in 6th grade.
He was huge. He was like the quarterback, the center.
Wait a minute, how was he quarterback and center?
The home run hitter.
That's tough to do.
Basketball center.
Oh, thank God.
The big man.
I was about to say he's
the man in the middle. I thought you were a basketball player.
I am a hooper.
Yeah.
Played last night. Had the group out at the house.
Which, by the way, I have video of your daughter beating the boys at camp.
Yeah.
Hitting a game winner.
Yeah. She lucked her way into a shot. How about that?
So, but my dad, so I'm over at Bobby Reed's house, and we were playing soccer, and they were asking me how my soccer season was going. And so my response was, well, we lost the first game, but I wasn't there. And we won the second game, and I scored 4 goals.
So basically, we won because I was there, and we lost because I wasn't there.
And so I'll never forget this. We're Bobby Reed's house, and my dad overhears me saying that. And so he kind of pulls me into, not kind of quietly, didn't make a show of it, but he kind of pulled me aside into one of the bedrooms, and he looked at me. He said, Johnny. They call me Johnny, kind of like Davey.
Yeah.
And he said, nobody likes a bragger. And he says, if you're good, they know you're good, and you don't have to tell them. And I'll never forget that lesson learned from my dad. Nobody likes a bragger. And I think
there's 2 lessons in that actually for me, because no one likes a bragger. Correct. I love that. But what he did is something that I'm struggling with and that I'm starting to learn as a parent and as a coach. I love that he pulled you to side. He didn't say it in front of everybody else.
Didn't say it in front of everybody.
When I was a dad,
yeah,
like I'm so anti the comments and anti not being who you are that I want to call you right now on the carpet. I love that he did that.
Yeah, I think I kind of, when I walked out to go get, some chips or a Coke or whatever, he waited till I walked out of the room, and then he kind of pulled me aside into
That's
another
awesome.
room.
That's great. I mean, that's a great advice for parents.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to always embarrass your child. You don't have to always say it in front of everybody else. Like, they can still get the message later. I thought I was going to miss a window. I thought I was going to miss that opportunity to tell him about it. But what I found with Nicholas, my son, who just turned 13, is, he responds better if I can just take him aside and tell him later. And it works better for him. He gets really embarrassed and he feels like he let me down and he feels bad about it, and that's fine. But I can tell him later and just be like, and your tone is important, right? Like I'm just like, listen, buddy, I love you. And like, I don't, with my son, and everybody knows their kids better. Like the more they get around their kids, you know them better. Like with my son, he's such a pleaser. He wants to do everything right. I know that. And now I know that as he gets older. So I don't have to get on him and yell at him. He wants to do right. He always wants to do right. But if I say, hey, bud, I'm not mad at you. Okay, I take that off the table and diffuse that with him. It works with him. It's something that I've learned is I'm not mad at you, but I just want you to understand, nobody wants to hear about you. You talk about yourself. And if you're good, like people will tell you you're good. You don't have to do that yourself. But I think that's something we learn. Learn your kids, learn which ways to talk to them and how to talk to them. But you don't always have to do it right in front of them, right then, right. You can find other ways to nudge them and still tell them things.
Well, I think as parents, we're always looking for those teachable moments.
Yes, and you don't want them to pass.
You don't want it to pass. So, but you got to be careful because there's a time to have those teachable moments, and there's the time, tone, time, all those things.
I like that. The T's. We're going to start developing some T's.
Super important.
Time.
So what do you think about discipline, hard work? You reap what you sow.
Oh, I completely disagree. Just fake your way through life. What are you talking about, bro? Think about football and compare it to football. Obviously, football is a big part of my life. 90, 95, 98% of what you do is when nobody's watching. When you don't have fans. I mean, think about that. People talk about the fans, and all these stadiums were packed this past weekend, right? Like everybody's watching football. At least 95 to 98% of what they do has nothing to do with those fans and when anybody's watching. It's what you're doing by yourself. It's, are you working in the weight room? Practice, by the way, ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody coming to watch you practice. They're coming to watch you play games. So when's the work done? The work is done in practice. The work is done off the field, in the weight room and stuff. So I think you have to learn how to work. You have to learn how to grind if you're going to be successful at anything. And it's another one of my sayings, and it's on the back of our shirts this year for our Titans organization. And I tell the kids all the time, it's so easy to be average. It's easy. It's easy to be average. It's in my house. We have a big thing on my wall, a big painting in my house that says it's easy to be average. You can be average and blend in. Tell them that all the time when they're running sprints. Like, hey guys, listen, I'm not calling anybody out right now, but I'm just telling you, when you jerk your head back and you act like you're running as hard as you can and you're not moving real fast, we know the difference. I did that. Like, been there, bro. Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So like, but do you want to be great? Do you want to succeed and meet your goals and your expectations? And my favorite, I live by this quote. You're going to love this because you have a candy fetish and you eat like crap. And Joel apparently has jumped in because if he's already past his prime, he said at 24, for God's sakes. You can write this down if you want, Pastor Jay. It's free. Don't give up what you want for what you want right now. So think about it. Don't give up what you want for what you want right now. And I've told this story a million times, but I was an 8th grader. I'm watching the World Cup soccer match. I'm listening to the broadcast, 8th grade. I have a goal and a dream to play in the NFL. I've told everybody I know I'm working towards it. They talked about on the broadcast that the girls, it was Brandy Chastain year when she ripped off her shirt at the end of the match. They said they stopped drinking carbonation because it affects your conditioning. I'm an 8th grade kid. That's the last time I ever touched a carbonated beverage in my life. Because I wasn't going to give up what I wanted right now in the moment for what I wanted long term. And we all have those obstacles, opportunities every day. Like, I want to walk closer to God. I want to be closer to God. Here comes an opportunity to go with my buddies and drink and maybe do things I shouldn't do. Don't give up what you want for what you want right now in that moment. And it's a hard thing to do, but if you're going to make goals and you're going to make dreams and you're going to make those things come true, you got to stick to those things even when it's difficult.
Yeah, and I think that's a great one to end on, because it's basically saying you're choosing what's best over the long haul, or what you want to do now. So don't sacrifice your goals and dreams for what you want right now. So, hey, good stuff. Enjoyed the podcast today.
Numero whatever. 3, 4. What are we on? 3?
5?
6?
We're rocking and rolling, man.
I feel like LeBron and D Wade. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4.
Where are you going to take your talents?
Home. Peace.
All right. Well, let me sign us off. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Family Goals with Pastor Jay and David Pollack.